দর্শক ল অ্যান্ড জাস্টিস অনুষ্ঠানে আপনাদের সবাইকে স্বাগতম। আপনারা জানেন প্রতি বুধবার রাত 9টায় অনুষ্ঠান প্রচারিত হয়ে থাকে। আমাদের সাথে যথারীতি আজকে আছেন অ্যাটর্নি সেলিম রিজভী। Selim Rizvi, you are welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much.
So, what is the latest?
What is the latest?
Anything new?
And I know I can read from your face that your question is about President Obama's executive action. Well, you know, executive action is moving from one place to the other. And it's very unfortunate, you know, when we talk about this issue with a level of seriousness. We wanted to resolve this issue, and there are 11 million people who, unfortunately,
they're waiting for a long
they're
time.
waiting, and believe me, in my own practice, I come across people who have been waiting for decades. You know, they could not go back to their own countries because they were waiting for a law like this, and some of them lost their legal status because of the fault of the immigration service, and also because of the fault of our broken system. This system needs to be fixed. So coming back to the executive action thing, as you know, and also in one of the programs we discussed about the judiciary's role in it, right? So there was a very hotly debated legal argument on this issue. And the Fifth Circuit, as you know, is a very conservative circuit. And there were three judges. One of the judges who was appointed by President Obama was very flexible, and he was the judge himself is very intelligent. His legal career was very distinguished. So he was asking very interesting questions and the other two judges, I'm not saying that those judges are not intelligent judges, those are also intelligent judges, but they are very conservative. So it's very difficult to say at this point of time what would be their leaning at the moment. But you know, the case was argued, which is unprecedented, because in the Fifth Circuit Court, especially at this level of litigation, they don't provide the opportunity for oral argument. But in this case, you know, both parties were represented by good attorneys who presented their cases. So the next hearing is in July. So hopefully by the end of July we'll be in a better position to say which way we are going. But one thing is very clear, and you know, even in your newspaper and many different forums, you have said it from political and community perspective, that how important
election is coming.
Absolutely, and this is very important, and we need to have that. But you know, one thing very interesting, which is connected with the immigration issue, and that comes in the context of 2016 presidential election campaign. On one side, the GOP is saying that we want to attract Latino voters. In fact, John McCain came out with a very strong statement, and he said, if I can give you one piece of advice, and that advice would be, don't forget the immigration issue. And I remember Mitt Romney made a blunder by saying that people who have no legal status, they should self-deport themselves. And I think that was the reason which cost him the election, because that was a very nasty kind of statement, where you're saying, look, we cannot accommodate you, even though this is a land of immigrants, but we have no space for you. And we don't want to push you, we don't want to throw you, but deport yourself, meaning voluntarily leave this country. Okay, so I think that was a very nasty kind of remark, and lots of political pundit thinks that was precisely the reason Mitt Romney lost the election, because there were a lot of Latino voters which turned against him. So I think at this juncture, many presidential hopefuls are trying to reach out to Latino voters, and they are talking now. They are not interested in their immigration issues, but they are speaking their languages.
Everybody wants to use as a trump the immigration as a trump card.
For instance, Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush, in one of their community meetings, they were trying to speak Spanish, and that's the way they wanted to be connected with Latino voters. Fine, that's a good thing, but don't be so opportunistic about it. And if you really feel that these are your voters, so go beyond speaking their language and try to do something for them. So let's see what happens.
Can you just talk about because there is no, right now there is no hope about this.
Yeah.
And might be, ultimately, we don't know even the future of executive order.
The issue is going to be resolved, but you're right. We do not know the time frame for this.
Yeah. So what about there is a convention called Torture Convention or something.
Yeah.
Which is if someone is, a victim of torture.
Right.
Or domestic violence.
Yes.
They can ask for.
A very good question. I mean, there are two different ways to get some benefit out of it. One is, which is the Torture Convention, which comes in the realm of political asylum. Okay. If the government is involved in political torture, then there is a United Nations charter on that issue, which allows convention, which allow people to apply under that. And lots of people did that, and they have been very successful. So there are many different components to political asylum case. In a loose term, we will say,
how about the
political asylum?
How about say about a woman become the victim of the domestic violence?
Well, that is
in
better.
This country.
Well, Mr. Tahir,
But they don't have any legal
there
status.
has been so many incidents, and if you take the data, there are millions of women who are being targeted, who are harassed, who are abused in their own homes. So there's, sometimes we think the West has no such problem. I think this is not true. I mean, unfortunately, even in this country, while we are talking this very moment, there are hundreds of women, or perhaps thousands of women, who are being abused in many different ways. So coming back to your question, yes, there is a way to handle it. It's called battered spouse method under the immigration law. I'm using a very loose term, but if somebody is battered, meaning that suffered any kind of mental or physical abuse.
Can I take a phone with someone call?
Surely,
call us?
Absolutely.
Hello, দর্শক, আপনি আপনার নাম বলে ফোন কথা বলুন। হ্যালো, হ্যালো, হ্যালো,
হ্যালো,
জি বলেন, আমরা শুনতে পাচ্ছি। আপনার নাম বলে কোত্থেকে আপনি বলছেন? আপনি আপনার প্রশ্ন করুন।
হ্যালো, আপনি শুনতেছেন?
জি, শুনতে পাচ্ছি।
হ্যালো,
হ্যাঁ বলেন, শুনতে পাচ্ছি।
ওকে, সরি, আমার ফোনে মনে হয় সমস্যা। ওকে, আমার একটা প্রশ্ন ছিল। আমি গত 5 বছর থেকে ইউএসএ থাকতেছি আর কি। আমি এখন সিটিজেন হয়েছি 1 মাস হয়েছে। আমার 2 ভাই আছে দেশে, বড় ভাই বিয়ে করছে, তার এক বাচ্চা আছে। কিন্তু একটা সমস্যা হয়েছে যে ওরা আমার হাফ ব্রাদার, মানে আমাদের মা এক, কিন্তু
বুঝতে পেরেছি। হ্যাঁ,
ওরা আমার হাফ ব্রাদার আর কি। এখন আমি জানতে চাইছি আমি কি ওদের জন্য অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারবো কিনা, আর অ্যাপ্লাই করলে কত দিনের মধ্যে আসতে পারবে?
থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ। A viewer, she asked that she is living in this country about 5 years. She became the citizen of the United States.
Right.
She had 2 brothers in Bangladesh.
Okay.
Who are the step brothers.
Right.
So whether she will be eligible to apply for them.
Surely the answer, the short answer to her question is yes. Even step siblings are qualified. But as far as the documentation are concerned, she has to make sure that she will be able to establish a relationship with the step siblings. It could be maternal or it could be paternal. Let's say if they have a common father, then there's a different track to take. And if they have a common mother, then there's a different track. But the answer to her question is yes, it can be done, but all the proper documentation should be submitted to get it done. And one more thing I would like to add, that it takes time. Because the category is completely backlogged at the moment. It's taking approximately 12, 13, 14 years. And going forward, perhaps it will take longer, unless we have a new immigration bill.
দর্শক, আপনি আশা করি বুঝতে পেরেছেন উনি যেটা বলেছেন, যে অবশ্যই আপনি অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারবেন। আপনি অবশ্যই অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারবেন, তবে অ্যাপ্লাই করার সময় আপনাকে যে জিনিসটা লক্ষ্য রাখতে হবে, যে ডকুমেন্টেশন, মানে আপনি প্রমাণ করতে হবে যে উনি যে আপনার ভাই। আপনার যদিও স্টেপ ব্রাদার বা স্টেপ সিস্টার যেই হোক, আপনার ফাদারের দিক থেকে হোক অথবা মাদারের দিক থেকে হোক, যে দিক থেকে হোক, আপনাকে কাগজপত্র দিয়ে প্রমাণ করতে হবে যে আপনার যে ক্লেম বা আপনি যে বলছেন তাদেরকে আপনার ভাই, তারা জেনুইন আপনার ভাই, এটা আপনাকে প্রমাণ করতে হবে। এতে আপনার সময় লাগবে হয়তো। এখন তো অ্যাপ্লাই যারা করে কমপক্ষে 10-12 বছর সময় লেগে যায় তাদের আত্মীয় স্বজনদের আনতে। এ পর্যন্ত আপনাকে অপেক্ষা করতে হবে, বাট অবশ্যই আপনি তাকে নিয়ে আসতে পারবেন। Thank you.
And if you have further questions on it, by all means you can contact me at my office, and my number is 212-732-4336, because it becomes a little complicated, and I'll be more than happy to give you more information on it.
Okay, good. So we are talking about, as you mentioned, the torture.
Yeah. So there's a legal way available by which a battered spouse, and it's gender neutral.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in our concept, sometimes we see that women are being abused, but I have seen many cases where men were abused. Perhaps they were not physically abused, but they were mentally abused.
Right.
So there are ways to present their cases, as long as they have all kind of documentary evidence.
Mm-hmm.
It can be. So the most successful cases are where there are some government agencies involved in these cases. For instance, if the police was involved and you have police reports available, very good. If the nature of those physical abuse is of this extent that the victim party went to the hospital and hospital record is available, that is important. If there were any witnesses to this kind of crime, that could also be very helpful. But the legal way is available, and we have done many cases, and this can be done.
So let's talk about the, because we have a short of time today.
Yes.
So what about the L visa?
L visa is a great visa for those people who want to come here and they want to establish a new entity of their organization abroad. So, for example, if you have a company or individually run business in Bangladesh, and that company or that person thinks that they need to establish another company here, or it could be a solo proprietorship, and they need to establish the services or any kind of entity here, they can do it. But there should be a connection between the company abroad. We are talking about Bangladesh. So let's say there's a company in Bangladesh, and that company establishes another company here. It could be affiliated organization or branch office or sister organization. As long as they have this link available, and in order to connect them, one of the companies should hold more than 50% of the stocks of the company, or 50% ownership of the company. And then the company is willing to send somebody here who will take care of their businesses. It could be in the area of executive position.
Can you take another phone?
Absolutely.
দর্শক, আপনার নাম এবং পরিচয় দিয়ে আপনি ফোন করুন প্লিজ।
তাহির ভাই, আমার নাম মোর্শেদ আলম। আমি জাস্ট একটা প্রশ্ন করব ওনাকে, যে আমি অ্যাসাইলাম সিক করেছি এখানে গত 6 মাস আগে। তো এখন প্রশ্নটা হচ্ছে, নিউ ইয়র্কে নাকি এখন অ্যাসাইলামের ইন্টারভিউ ডেটটা একটু দেরিতে আসে। এটার মূল কারণটা কি, বা এখন এটা ইজিলি হবে কিনা, এই প্রশ্নটা একটু।
Okay, he is asking that he has asked for political asylum,
Right.
but the date of the interviews is coming too late. It's taking too long.
Okay.
So what he has to do, and is there any other? Do you have any advice for it?
Okay. Well, normally when you apply for a affirmative action, there are two types of method you can use to file for political asylum. If you are in deportation proceeding, then you file the application before the judge. That is defensive asylum process. And if somebody is in this country, has never been placed in any kind of deportation proceeding, then you can file affirmatively, meaning that you prepare the application and file it with the asylum office. Asylum office in New York and New Jersey is not taking that long. I have seen cases which were scheduled within 6 months. I have seen cases which took a little longer. And also the cases which are being referred
To the judge.
from asylum office to immigration judge are taking very long as far as the paperwork is concerned. You know, they're getting notices that you have to appear in court, maybe after 2 or 3 years. But what I learned from some sources that those dates are not the final dates, because they are just they're creating these notices, and in most of the cases, those cases would be advanced. So let's say if somebody is scheduled to appear
another person called
in
you.
2017, there's a good possibility that interview will be coming soon.
ওকে দর্শক, আপনার নাম এবং পরিচয় দিয়ে প্রশ্ন করুন প্লিজ। হ্যালো
হ্যালো,
জি বলেন।
সেম থিং আবার শোনা যায় না। হ্যালো,
জি আপনার প্রশ্ন করুন, আমরা শুনতে পাচ্ছি।
ও সরি, আমার ফোনে একটা সমস্যা। ওকে, আমার প্রশ্ন হইতেছে যে আমার মা তো এখানে থাকতেছে লাস্ট 5 ইয়ার্স, তো উনি মানে সিটিজেনের জন্য অ্যাপ্লাই করছে, হয়তো আর 1-2 মাসের মধ্যে সিটিজেন নিবে, কিন্তু উনি ওনার 2 ছেলের জন্য অ্যাপ্লাই করছে গ্রিন কার্ড অবস্থায়। এখন ছোট ছেলে বিয়ে করে নাই আর বড় ছেলে বিয়ে করছে, তা এখন সিটিজেন হওয়ার পরে বড় ছেলের জন্য অ্যাপ্লাই করলে কত বছর লাগতে পারে, আর ছোট ছেলে যে বিয়ে করে নাই আর ও এখন আসতে সিটিজেন হওয়ার পরে ও আসতে কতদিন সময় লাগতে
ছোট
পারে?
ছেলের বয়স কত?
আর বড় ছেলে তো বিয়ে করছে, তো এখন তো গ্রিন কার্ড অবস্থায় আমি জানি না ঠিক কি সিস্টেম, গ্রিন কার্ড অবস্থা আসতে পারবে কিনা, বা সিটিজেন হওয়ার পরে উনি বড় ছেলের জন্য আবার রিঅ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারবে কিনা।
ছোট ছেলের বয়স কত? Okay, the question is, she is asking that her mother, she is a resident, green card holder, and she will be the citizen very soon.
Okay.
So she applied for her 2 sons,
Right.
who are in Bangladesh.
Okay.
When she is, resident of the green card holder.
Right.
So when she will be the citizen, how long it's going to take to bring her son
Right.
to in this country? One son is married, one son is unmarried.
Okay. Well, if the son is married right now and she's a green card holder, I don't have a good news for her.
But she will be citizen.
I know, but she's not a citizen yet.
No.
So what happens is, the moment the son or daughter get married, that application is gone. And if she says, well, I'll be a citizen in the future, then the son should have waited until she had become a U.S. citizen. So I always advise my client to wait till they become U.S. citizen, and then their children can get married, and that's a different story, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because then we can change the category. But a green card holder, after filing the application, waiting for the approval of the application, or about waiting for the visa interview, and in between, if the son or the daughter get married, that application is automatically rescinded, revoked.
Okay.
So that's a bad news.
So she has to apply again?
She will have to file the application all over again, and then the son will be considered as a married son. And nowadays they are processing. I think they're processing 2,000, if I'm not mistaken, 2007 cases. So, or perhaps married son and daughter. I think it's 2004 cases.
Wow.
Because it's unmarried son.
So minimum 11 years.
It's a long wait. But the caller can call me at my office number, and I'll be more than happy to give out the information
Okay.
As to what the priority dates are running right now.
So let me
So
explain
as far
what
as
it
the
says.
other case is concerned, because she mentioned there's another son,
unmarried son.
unmarried son. So she would be, if that son is under 21, so he will become immediate relative, and she would be able to bring that son very quickly. It can be done within a year.
ওকে, দর্শক উনি যেটা বলেছেন যে যে ভাই বিয়ে করে ফেলেছেন তার অ্যাপ্লিকেশনকে এই অ্যাপ্লিকেশন আর কাজে লাগবে না, উনি সিটিজেন হওয়ার পরে আবার নতুন করে অ্যাপ্লিকেশন করতে হবে ওনাকে, এবং ইট উইল টেক টাইম। আর যে ভাই আপনার বিয়ে করে নাই, সে যদি সব কাগজপত্র ঠিকমতো সাবমিট করা হয়, তাহলে 1 বছরের মধ্যেই চলে আসতে পারবে। আর এর আগে একজন দর্শক প্রশ্ন করেছিলেন যে ওনার অ্যাপ্লিকেশনে, যে অ্যাসাইলামের যে অ্যাপ্লিকেশন, এই অ্যাপ্লিকেশনে নিউ ইয়র্কে অনেক সময় লাগছে। তো এই ব্যাপারে উনি বলেছেন যেটা যে নিউ ইয়র্কে প্রায় 6 মাসের মতো এখন ইন্টারভিউতে ডাকতে সময় লাগছে। এটা খুব বেশি সময় না, বাট জাজের কাছে যখন যাচ্ছে তখন একটু সময় লাগছে। এটা এই মুহূর্তে এর চেয়ে বেশি কিছু করার নাই। আর যেটা জাজরা যে সময় দিচ্ছে, এই সময়ের পরে আবার দেখা যাচ্ছে যে অনেকে আবার আগেও ডেকে ফেলছে, সুতরাং আপনাকে অপেক্ষা করতে হবে। সো থ্যাংক ইউ।
Thank you very much.
So now, we were talking about the L visa. So just make a conclusion of
Yeah,
this.
well, then, you know, there are different kind of position available under this visa. It could be executive position, a managerial position, and I have done cases where people with specialized knowledge and skills were brought in on L1 visa. So this is a fantastic visa as long as people meet the basic requirement. But I have seen many companies not understanding the basic underlying requirement, and sometimes they don't, you know, submit the right documentation, and cases get rejected. That's not a good strategy, because if once a case is rejected, it takes a very long time to win this case.
Can I take a last question? Because
Yes.
a lot of people are calling. দর্শক, আপনি আপনার প্রশ্নটি, আপনার নাম এবং পরিচয় দিয়ে প্রশ্নটি করুন।
হ্যালো,
জি,
আমার নাম,
হ্যাঁ, আপনার নাম বলে আপনি কোন জায়গা থেকে ফোন করছেন?
আমি আব্দুল খালিক দেওয়াদার মিশিগান থেকে করছি।
জি, আপনার প্রশ্নটি কি বলেন?
জি,
আপনার প্রশ্নটি বলুন।
প্রশ্নটি বলবো?
জি,
প্রশ্নটি হলো যে একজন সিটিজেন সে যদি তার ওয়াইফকে ডিভোর্স দেয়, তো
জি।
সে কি দেন এন্ড দেয়ার ম্যারেজ করতে পারবে এখানে বা বাংলাদেশে গিয়ে?
মানে আপনার প্রশ্নটা হলো যে যদি সিটিজেন তার ওয়াইফকে ডিভোর্স করে, তাহলে
জি।
সে আবার
ম্যারেজ এখানে করতে পারবে না বাংলাদেশে গিয়ে, বা বাংলাদেশ চাইলে গিয়ে করতে পারবে, বা কতদিন পরে করতে পারবে,
ওকে, ইফ সামওয়ান,
বা দেন এন্ড দেয়ার করতে পারবে কিনা?
আচ্ছা, আপনার প্রশ্ন করি, ডিভোর্স কি শেষ হয়ে গেছে, মানে কোর্টে কি এটা ফাইনাল হয়ে
না
গেছে?
করছে না, যদি করে।
জি, oh, if someone divorced his wife, then how long he has to wait to get married again?
Oh, well, you know, if the judge signed the judgment today, the person can get married right after that judgment is signed. So there's no waiting period. He can go ahead and get married right away after the judgment is done.
ওকে, উনি যেটা বলেছেন আপনার যে ডিভোর্স কেসের ব্যাপারে, জাজ যেদিন ডিভোর্স কেসে সই করবেন যেটা ফাইনাল হয়ে গেছে, এর পরের দিন উনি বিয়ে করতে পারবেন, অসুবিধা নেই আর।
Yeah.
Okay,
Even
so-
from immigration purposes,
Yeah.
one doesn't need to wait.
Okay. So I have a question about the L.
Sure.
So about in Bangladesh, if someone would like to invest here money,
Right.
the government have a problem to bring the money here.
Right.
So how he can bring the money?
Very good question. I mean, what happens is, as far as U.S. government is concerned, U.S. government doesn't care how that money is coming, as long as that's a legal money. So people sometimes make their own arrangements. All right, they will hand over the money to somebody in Bangladesh, and the other party is delivering that money here. As long as there's paperwork to establish that the source of money is not criminal and the source of money is legal, that is acceptable. But the easiest way would be to have some.
So say about okay, I am here.
Right.
And I gave my brother
Right.
money
Right.
from my company to invest. So
Right.
do you think he can, when the immigration will ask him to interview
Right.
and ask them show all the evidence where you money
Right,
get the
right,
money,
right.
then because he cannot bring the money from Bangladesh.
Sure, as long as even the money which is borrowed or lended by the other party is acceptable, as
Is
long as you have
acceptable?
the track
Oh,
record
so
of
it's
it.
a great
Yeah, so what I
opportunity.
do in most of the cases, what we do is we try to track the source of money.
Okay.
Okay, for instance, the money is yours, and that money has been in your business for a number of days or number of months or number of years, and we establish the source of income, and then you are giving this money so that I can get my legal status here. So we have to establish this understanding that this was your money, but I borrowed that money from you.
Okay.
You lended the money, and we can go ahead with
I have another question.
Sure.
This is the last question.
Yes.
দর্শক, আপনার নাম এবং পরিচয় দিয়ে আপনার প্রশ্নটি করুন। হ্যালো।
হ্যালো,
জি, বলেন।
হ্যালো, আমার প্রশ্নটা বলতা,
জি,
আমার বাচ্চার বয়স 13 বছর।
জি।
হ্যাঁ, ওর আব্বু সিটিজেনশিপ গ্রিন কার্ড পাই আমাদেরকে আনছিল। এখন আমার বাচ্চা কিভাবে সিটিজেনশিপ হইবে এটার একটু পরামর্শ দিয়েছি।
একটু আবার বলেন, শুনতে পারি নাই।
হ্যালো, আমার বাচ্চার বয়স 13 বছর।
হ্যাঁ।
আমার হাজবেন্ড সিটিজেনশিপ,
জি।
বুঝছেন, উনি আমাদেরকে গ্রিন কার্ড পাই আনছেন। আমরা আসছি 4 বছর হয়েছে। এখন আমার বাচ্চা কিভাবে সিটিজেনশিপ হইব এটা উত্তরটা দিতেছি।
আপনার বাচ্চা কি এই জায়গায়?
বাচ্চা এই জায়গা, আমিও এই জায়গা 4 বছর ধরে।
তা আপনাদের গ্রিন কার্ড আছে সবার?
হ্যাঁ, আমাদের গ্রিন কার্ড আছে।
আপনার বাচ্চার বয়স 4 বছর?
13 বছর।
13 বছর, ওকে। She and her husband, they came.
Right.
They are here as a green card holder since
Okay.
4 years.
Right.
They want to apply for citizenship,
Right.
and their son is only 4 years old.
Right.
Now 13 years old.
Right.
So how he will become the citizen?
Well, through them, because they don't need to file a separate application for the child. All right. So now they have completed their 4 years. They have to wait another 9 months. Once they complete 4 years or 9 months, they will be able to file the application. Once they become U.S. citizen, the child would be deemed, she will become a U.S. citizen
So what
as
is
well.
the age limit with
I think it's 16, if I'm not
16,
mistaken.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So let
Yeah.
me explain them.
Yeah, 16 or 18, I'm not remembering it. But
Okay.
now the child is about 13 years,
13 years, yes.
years old. So even, they wait a year or two to become U.S. citizen, the child will still be qualified.
ওকে, উনি যেটা বলেছেন যে আপনার বাচ্চা আপনাদের সাথে যে আপনারা যে অ্যাপ্লিকেশন করবেন একই অ্যাপ্লিকেশনে তাকে ইনক্লুড করা যাবে এবং আপনারা সিটিজেন হলে সে অটোমেটিক্যালি সিটিজেন হয়ে যাবে। So
But in order to get a naturalization certificate for that child, some people want to see the naturalization certificate, then they have to apply for getting the naturalization certificate, and there's a separate immigration form available.
okay, so they definitely they will get the instruction from immigration. So today we are finished.
Okay.
Okay, so
Well, wonderful as usual. It's always lovely to talk to you because you come up with so many good questions.
yes. So thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
দর্শক, আজকে এ পর্যন্তই। আগামী সপ্তাহে আবার দেখা হবে। সে পর্যন্ত টাইম টেলিভিশনের সাথেই থাকুন। খোদা হাফেজ।
Khuda Hafiz.